Hey everybody, welcome to Takeoff with John Clark, presented by Live Casino Hotel, and our special guest this week, Philly guy, Jason Kelce, joining us now. And as you see the shirt, Underdog Philadelphia, Underdog apparel, it is officially launched. And I mean, what better name for Jason Kelce, huh?
It's officially up and running. A lot of 2017 references, but largely was made to kind of embody the city, its persona, and the pride that we all take as being Philadelphians. So it's up and running, 24 hours in. We did $150,000 in sales and over 1,500 orders. So thank you for supporting. Yeah, it's a lot of success so far.
That's awesome. We're going to get into the charity and the foundation that you started. And I appreciate you doing this because you're always so thoughtful with the media. When the media, we all ask you questions because basically it's giving insight to the fans.
Right, yeah. No, obviously the fans are the reason why we're able to play the game. And media is the one way that we get to connect and create that relationship with all the fans out there.
So I remember at the beginning of this season, and I kind of judge sometimes when you speak and I notice the number of F-bombs, I say to myself, okay.
he's being serious?
Yeah, he's being serious, and he thought about this one. Like he wanted to get a message out there. And you talked about everybody in Philadelphia is talking Super Bowl. Maybe players start to hear it. How do you think the Eagles have handled that so far? 4-0 with you're now maybe targeted a little bit as a team.
Yeah, I think the message remains the same. And I think we've done a good job as a team. Coach Sirianni's done a good job of preaching the same thing over and over again. His big thing is dog mentality. You just doesn't matter what's going on, what the expectations are, where you're at. You got to come out and be the same every single time you step out on the field. You got to come out there ready to work, ready to get better, ready to dominate on game day. And I don't think any of that changes. We're really fortunate. We have a great team this year. We have a lot of good players, great coaches. But we all know that if you're not getting better in this league, you're getting worse. And the only way we're going to be good when it counts is if we continue to improve and continue to get better.
And it seems like you're able to win in a number of different ways. Throwing the ball, you ran the ball, of course, against the Jaguars. You're the top rushing team in the NFL since Nick took over.
Yeah.
Is this the best feeling about running the ball that you've had with O-line and running backs and your quarterback being able to run?
Well, yeah, the quarterback's ability to run with Jalen gives us a lot of advantageous looks. It makes the defense give us honest boxes, give us numbers that are conducive. So, for us, all we're looking to get is a hat on a hat. If we can make the numbers right, we feel like we got the guys necessary to make the run game go. And Jalen is a big reason why we get those numbers right. And then we also have great running backs, as you said, Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenny Gainwell. It doesn't really matter who is getting the rock. I feel like we're ready to go out with them, although Miles did have a tremendous game against the Jaguars. We have a lot of talent on the offense, a lot of playmakers, so we can do a lot of things.
There's nobody better than Jeff Stoutland in football. When you're able to use RPO, zone read, the inside zone, outside zone, all the things you're doing, the variety of runs. How do you defend that when you have a quarterback like Jalen?
It's hard. Yeah, I think you I don't know. I don't know how defense is a game plan for something like that. Obviously, the moment you're game planning for the reads on the end, all of a sudden you're getting hit with an RPO, or the moment you're game planning for the RPO, we're hitting you with a downhill attack run play where it's taking advantage of soft linebackers. That's the back and forth, and Stout is among the best at factoring all those things in and really putting together a game plan that's conducive for what he feels we're going to see on game day. And then on top of that, in terms of game time adjustments, we saw it last week against the Jaguars, struggling in the first quarter. All of a sudden, boom, second quarter, we get to some things, and the running game pops huge. So, I think Stout is renowned as being, if not the best, certainly up there. I think he's the best, but, for a reason, and it's because of the consistency at which he's dialed up these things for his tenure in Philadelphia.
It's interesting when you look back at your Super Bowl year. Mm-hmm. Doug was in his second year. Nick's in his second year now. Yeah. The quarterback took a leap, and Jalen Hurts has taken a leap. I see the locker room celebration yesterday. I heard Dreams and Nightmares playing. Are you getting that special vibe?
Well, yeah, whenever you're winning, it's going like that. You know, I think we have a great blend of personalities on this team, and we have a coach that really embraces guys being themselves. You know, I think you see a lot of guys getting noticed in the media or getting noticed by the fans, and that's a good sign. You know, I think a bad, you know, the burden of being the guy is too strong for, I think, anyone. When you have a lot of guys that are out there making plays, a lot of guys that are out there, you know, giving of themselves to others, to their teammates, that's when you have the mark of a good team and something special. And I really do. I think Nick, similar to Doug Peterson, similar to Andy Reid. I mean, he's very much a guy that wants guys to embrace their personalities and let it show. And you know, you're seeing great sound bites from, you know, my man Slay, Brandon Grant. I mean, it's really been fun. And you know, I think if we keep winning, it'll continue being fun.
And we've heard some good sound bites out of you with your new podcast, your brother.
A lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, we've talked about it for a while. And then I think, one, meeting the right group to really put it together and produce it and make it as easy as us and seamless in season, especially, and make it a good product, really kind of was the big factor in getting us to finally commit to doing it. And for us, I mean, it's been great because we just get to get together, talk for an hour or two every Tuesday. And, I mean, that's not a bad gig. And I love talking to Travis. So a lot of times in season, unfortunately, I don't get to talk to him as much because we have so much going on. You're focused on the next opponent, you got the family, the kids, all these things going on. So to really have a designated time to just talk to Trav and catch up, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a fun listen. So listen to your
New
podcast.
Heights,
there you
New
go.
Heights, there you
Get
go.
that plug in there. And we heard your soundbite about fat Batman, but Slay says,
yeah.
no, you're sexy Batman.
Yeah, Slay's always got my back. You know, I can be fat and sexy. I don't think those are two mutually exclusive things. So yeah, I think, man, Slay's been on one. He's been having a bunch of great lines. He's really turned into, I mean, he's always been one of my favorite teammates, but he's finally got the C on his jersey this year. He's turned into such a great energy, like booster for our team, for everyone in that locker room. He's got energy every day. He really, you know, makes you excited to come to work. You're just happy when you see him. You know you're going to have a smile on your face. You know he's going to say something funny or something good. So he's been a joy ever since he got here, and it's only getting better.
And it's good he's getting the recognition for the player that he is, because maybe in Detroit, you know, you're not getting a lot of that recognition.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on good teams, good players get recognition. And Slay's been a very, very good player his entire career. I think what you're seeing now is obviously it seems like he's only getting better at this point. But it's happening on a defense right now that is pretty darn stifling. You know, they're a really, really good defense. He's locked up one of the best receivers in the game against the Vikings. So he's rightfully so getting all of those accolades. And it couldn't happen to a better guy. Couldn't happen to a better teammate.
And did you actually get the fat, sexy Batman cape yet? Is there?
I don't think I have a cape.
No?
No, I think I'll just, at some point, maybe something will pop up, but no cape yet.
All right, well, maybe on the podcast, your brother will hook it up and maybe have somebody deliver one.
That'd be a good episode.
How about Jalen Hurts as far as the running game? Is he basically in control of the running game? Nick has talked about how he's getting you guys out of some bad plays.
Sure.
And how much does he set up what kind of running play you're going to go with?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the game plans and everything comes through Stout and Shane and Nick. But, you know, Jalen is in charge of making all the adjustments at the line in terms of getting to a different play, recognizing the defense, whether we're going to go from a run play to a pass play to a run play, you know, switch the run concept up. You know, he's really, obviously, the more reps he gets, the older he gets, the more confident he understands all of these things. He's going to be given more and more control over all that. And he gets us out of a lot of bad situations, whether it's the pre-snap adjustment or just his post-snap talent. You know, I mean, a guy that can either, you know, take a blown blitz assignment, like we saw in Detroit multiple times, unfortunately, and take a bad play on a third down, all of a sudden turn it into a first down. that's a pretty big boost for the offense because not a lot of quarterbacks, not a lot of players can do that. So he's got a unique skill set that allows him to do a lot of things. Mentally, he's only getting better, obviously, with experience. And it's been fun to play with him and watch him through these first 4 games.
And forgive me if I saw something and it wasn't what I saw. I think, obviously snaps are an issue when it's raining.
Oh my gosh.
That's no fun.
Yeah.
Did Jalen, no pun intended, did he snap at you one time? I saw him maybe kind of get in your face a little bit. I mean,
I don't think he snapped at me, but maybe he did. I get snapped at a lot, so it's hard to keep track.
But how about that level of leadership at this point?
I think he's always had the leadership aspect to him. It's one of the best things I've appreciated about him. He's a very consistent individual. He's a very confident individual. So I think to be quite frank, I think he's been a great leader from the moment he got into this building. And the only thing that changes is as you have success, as you win games, as you have more time proving it on the field, that leadership becomes stronger in the eyes of everyone else. So I think intangible-wise, that kid's had that stuff from the moment I met him.
What's impressed you the most on the field with him this year? The improvements that he's made with his game?
I don't know that, it'd be hard-pressed for me to say that. I mean, I really don't think he's that different from the moment he's been here. Obviously, he's more confident. He's older, so he understands things more. He's got more experience. But he's largely the same guy. I think the biggest thing that I see is just a guy that feels more confident and collected and makes decisions quicker as a result. He's had a chance to retain the same offensive system with Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni and Stout for the last year. And all of these guys, he feels more confident and comfortable with all of these calls, these plays, the terminology. So you're seeing a guy who in the pocket looks confident and he's poised and he is making quick decisions, making accurate throws as a result. Those are the things I see out of Jalen, which those are all improvements. But as a guy, I don't think much has changed about Jalen.
Brandon Graham recently said that he thought there's no doubt in his mind that this team is more talented than that team that won the Super Bowl. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I think he, man, let me think. I don't know. It's tough to say. We had a really, really talented roster that year. And I think, Doug Peterson even said so much. He said that team in 2017 in that preseason was more talented than some of the teams who won the Super Bowl with in Green Bay. Yeah. So, I think this team is very talented. I think, is it more talented? I don't know, but it's close, which means it's got enough talent to win.
Yeah. I remember Kobe Bryant towards the end of his career. He said maybe for the first, bunch of years of his career, he was very guarded and measured with what he said publicly and everything. And then he just said, F it. I'm just going to be open with the public and give you my true feelings.
Yeah.
You got a podcast now.
Yeah.
You let the Eagles come with you, I believe, for your surgery.
Yeah.
You're pretty open about a lot of stuff now. Are you at that point, you really want to share a lot of this with the fans? Or why do you think you're more open at this point?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think I do feel more open. I do feel like I am, more willing to be myself and more willing to talk about really anything. I think part of that just comes with age. I think the older people get, the more they just kind of get that way. And it's like, yeah, whatever. I'm going to say what I want and what is on my mind, and you're going to hear it whether you like it or not. And I think part of it's confidence and experience. And I think, when you've been through things and you think there's a right way to do it, or you want to be able to share things with people. And yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely feel that way though.
Yeah. Brandon Graham said, he's under a 1-year deal and he's savoring every moment because he's looking at this as possibly his last year, or that's the way he's playing.
Yeah.
How are you looking at this year? Do you look at that the same way?
I do. I mean, I've looked at, honestly, like the last 3 years as though they'd be my last years. I think I don't know that you should ever look at a season like it's not. It is every snap you go out there could be the last one you ever take. I remember my dad growing up, and then once I got to the NFL, he's like, you never know when you can walk off the sidewalk and never play football again. And I think that's the mindset you have to have in this game. If you're too long-term focused, too much, what's happening next year, it's okay. I always got next year. I remember Brent Selleck in 2017 season, before we started the season, really. It was like before the first game, came up and talked about how he went to the NFC Championship his second year in the league.
2008
season?
Yeah.
And he was like, they lost, and he's like, you know what, we'll be back there next year. It took him 10 years to get back there.
Yeah.
So I really think, in this league, you can't focus on anything more than really what's right in front of you. If you're focused on too many other things, you're doing yourself and your team and everybody a disservice.
I'm amazed by you sometimes watching from the press box. I think there was a game up at MetLife last year where you got hurt during the game, and then you had to come out for a little while, and I saw you just pacing up and down on the sideline. You're trying to work through your stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Travis at the Super Bowl week, and he related a story about playing hockey when you were playing hockey growing up.
Yeah.
And something about, like you were going to, like your legs falling off, but you're going to play. Is there, you're 126 straight starts, right?
So far, I don't have any wood to knock on, but we're up there.
What would keep you out of a game? It's pretty incredible all the things you've played with.
No, I'll as long as I can play and function and be a productive teammate, I'm going to go out on the field. There are serious injuries that would keep me out. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I've been very fortunate over these last 126 games to not have one that's been able to keep me out. But in this league, you're always fighting over something. And, everybody on that field has some type of thing nagging them or some injury. Maybe the first game you get to, you're good. But after that, everybody's got something. And I don't know. It's a mindset. I think you try and understand that you're not going to be 100%. Don't have the idea that you're going to feel healthy. Go in with the idea that, it is what it is, and you just got to find a way to get it done and be there for your teammates if you can. I don't know if that was ingrained in me from my parents. My brother sure seems to try and do the same thing. My hometown community or hockey. I don't know which one did it, but I think I definitely have that mindset.
Yeah, you do have a hockey guy mindset because, these guys, guys have taken pucks to the mouth. Their teeth are all out. And
it's like a trophy when you lose a tooth at hockey.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. How about you and your brother? It's an awesome podcast, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I even asked Rube. And I said, are there any brothers in the Hall of Fame? And he said he didn't think so. There's no pair of brothers in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think so, not yet. I think the Matthews brothers, Bruce and Clay, are the closest ones. And then Eli and Peyton, obviously.
Yeah. But I'm thinking the number of All-Pros you've had, there's only, I think, 3 other centers that have ever had as many All-Pros, and they're all in the Hall of Fame. Do you think about that you and your brother could one day be in the Hall of Fame together?
I think you, like anything, you see articles or you see people say things, and it's hard to fathom, to be honest with you. It's easy to fathom Travis being in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be one of the career leading receivers in tight end history when it's all said and done. I just know for my sake that I've had a lot of All-Pros and I've had a lot of really good recognition. But boy, does a lot of that come at the hands of all of my teammates and Jeff Stoutland. I'm a very good player. I have a really good skill set. But I am not without weaknesses. And Stout does his best to put me in a position to exploit my strengths. I've played next to guys like Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, Jason Peters, Todd Harrimans, Isaac Seumalo, Landon Dickerson now, Evan Mathis. I've played it next to so many great players that have really allowed me to play at my best. I've played with unbelievable running backs. It's really, what I'm getting at is a Hall of Famer to me is somebody who was scheme independent and was so good that it didn't matter what team they went on, they were going to be that good. And I don't think I'm that player, so it's hard to imagine myself in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I guess that's the best way I can answer it.
So it'd be a pretty unbelievable honor if that was.
Of course, yeah,
I mean,
of course,
yeah.
It'd be an incredible honor. But yeah.
So your shirt, Underdog.
Underdog.
I mean, there's no better speech in the history of Philadelphia. and I think you, more than almost anybody I can think of that comes to mind, can identify with Philadelphia. So what does it mean to start this clothing line?
Yeah.
And then also you're helping raise money for a foundation that you're starting.
That's right, yeah. I've had an idea of, I've wanted to start a foundation for a long time, but I've never really wanted to force it. I've wanted to let it happen organically. And I've just, through talking with people in the city and finally meeting the right people that have really helped me brand it and market it and really set it up, because those are things that are not my skill set, and really give me direction with it. We finally got it going. I feel really, really confident that it's going to be something that Philadelphia can be proud of, which is a really important thing for me with the foundation. There's a reason it's not the Jason Kelce Foundation. There's a reason I don't want my face on it. I want this thing to be about the city of Philadelphia. I want this thing to be about, taking what I think is one of the biggest strengths of this city, which is its pride, and focusing it in an area that, one, is going to be good for Philadelphia, but two, is going to help a lot of kids and other people reach their dreams and their potential.
It's great. And you can go to Underdog Twitter site, right?
Yeah, Underdog PHL, yep.
And then the website?
UnderdogPHL.com, yeah. It's all up on the Instagram, Twitter. You can check out Be Philly Foundation if you want to find out more on the actual, what the money is going to go to help. Yeah, all that stuff's up and running. Finally launched, and which feels good because it's been in the works for a while.
Well, that's great. And you're back on Twitter.
I am back on Twitter.
And you're on Instagram.
I'm on all the social medias, largely to either try and promote the foundation, connect with fans, or the podcast I'm doing with my brother.
Nice. Well, couple fun questions to finish.
Sure.
I saw you mention that you thought it'd be a great idea with the Pro Bowl technically going away, and they're going to have the competitions, a hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I think that's a great one. I'm excited about it. The opportunities are endless of what you can do with this thing. I think we can all agree that the Pro Bowl game was a little bit lackluster. It's fun always seeing stars out there and doing things, but the reason people tune in, I think, on Sundays, besides having this sense of loyalty and hope that their team can be great, is to see competition, to see people truly competing against each other. So that wasn't necessarily happening in the Pro Bowl game, I think we can all say. And I think now we're going to see some interesting games, some interesting activities, and some stuff that'll be fun and unique. I hope they get really creative. If they need any ideas, I'm more than willing to brainstorm with them. I think there's a lot of fun things that we can do with that. So yeah. I
love it. So who on the Eagles offensive line out of all you guys would win a hot dog eating contest? Because you're in the lunchroom with these guys some days.
So if Stefan Wisniewski was still on the team, hands down Stefan Wisniewski. That dude would eat, no joke, 8 eggs for breakfast with sausage. I mean, he would just house food. More than I've seen. Right now, I don't know.
I mean, Lane is looking lean, so I don't know if it'd be Lane. He's not putting that stuff in his body right now, is he?
But he eats a lot of calories.
Yeah.
He's just got one of those body types, those metabolisms where he can freaking house food and still, have a six-pack.
Yeah.
At 320 pounds or whatever he is. I don't have those genetics, but I think he would be up there because he can house some food when he needs to. I would say probably Lane, Jordan. You got to put Jordan up there. I mean,
huge.
Yeah, he's enormous. Yeah. Landon Dickerson. If I was a betting man, I'd probably put my money on Lane.
Okay. Lane.
Lane.
Wow.
I don't bet against Lane very often.
Some people have, and they've paid for it.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. How about you with your Super Bowl speech? I don't know if this is out there. Somebody told me you were not scheduled to speak at the Super Bowl parade.
Well,
is that true?
I don't know if that was or not. I went up to the Eagles 2 days before the parade. I think it was 2 days, and asked them, who's speaking? Is like, is there like a schedule up? Like, and they're like, well, we haven't made that yet. I was like, do you want us to let you know if you're going to talk? And I was like, yeah. Well, I think I got something to say. If if I could, I would love to be able to speak.
You did have something.
So I don't know if they were going to schedule me or not, but I went in there a little proactively. I knew that I thought I had something good that was swirling around in my head, and so yeah.
I mean, the most unbelievable speech in the history. We've had popes here. Declaration of Independence, greatest speech in the history of Philadelphia. I'm telling you, in the city with the rich history.
Yeah, I will take being one of the best. I will not call it the greatest speech in Philadelphia history, but
nobody's probably had more YouTube views in the history of Philadelphia speeches, right?
They didn't have YouTube in 1776.
I wasn't trying to say that. How about a fun fact? I read this in the media guide. Is it true before games, a lot of guys will listen to music to get them going? Yeah. Do you really listen to Christmas music?
I did. I still listen to it every once in a while. Recently I've been on a big War on Drugs kick because I'm pretty good friends with a few of the guys in the band. But I do listen. Chris, I like listening to music that kind of puts you in a happy mood and really gets your endorphins going. Makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And then once the game gets started, all that goes to aggression and testosterone and energy. But for some reason, that's always been something that's clicked for me is, uplifting music right before you go out there. And I have so many great memories from Christmas growing up. My dad would always get a second job around the holidays so that he could afford to get whatever Christmas gift Travis and I had our eye on. It was a lot of fun. Always worked at a kiosk, at a candy store kiosk in the mall in our hometown. So
that's cool.
We had some really good Christmases growing up.
See, I'm just picturing though somebody like next to you listening to Meek Mill, and you've got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer going.
Yeah, maybe not Rudolph, but yeah, there's some, and I'll listen to Meek Mill too though. I don't shy away from that.
Yeah,
I get a good blend on game day.
You do, but really, Christmas songs before games, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I used to do it more.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in a while, but it used to be a tradition.
That's very cool. So I asked a couple people, like, if I could bring up something funny with you, get a funny story.
Okay.
So I was told to ask you about the bocce story.
The bocce story? I don't even know what we're talking about.
For real?
No, bocce story?
Oh, man. All right. I asked your mom. I texted your mom.
Oh.
And I said,
man, this
can you
is
give me
way
something
back.
funny that
this
would
is
get
way back.
Just a funny story? She said, ask him about the bocce story.
This is an old story. Me and my brother were out back, and we loved to play basketball. And for some reason, we couldn't find the basketball. So instead of dribbling, we just grabbed a bocce ball and we're throwing it in the basketball hoop. And
I could see where this is going.
Yeah, it was not. It would be not that bad of an idea if my dad's car was not parked directly next to it. And sure enough, I went in for a layup. It dinged off of the rim and went right into the windshield. And that was one of the many times that glass was broken in our household growing up. And Dad was not too happy with that.
That's funny. Well, yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, I played the street hockey, but I started to use the garage doors as the boards.
Yep.
And those crashed over one time, so not good. Did you do that too?
We never crashed the doors open, but there were lots of dents and holes in the door from either lacrosse balls, hockey pucks, baseballs hitting it. Yeah.
Well, that's the sign in the neighborhood you're going to have future professional athletes, so that's a good sign.
Yes, that's a sign of children are having fun outside. It's going to maybe not look so good to the eye, but it warms your heart when you see that.
Yeah, well, very cool. And Underdog is the new apparel. Go out and get it. I mean, that's a great logo there. I mean, where did that come from?
Lane Johnson and Chris Long.
Yep, it's amazing. That's awesome. Jason, we appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Flagrant.